All right, I will call to order. Wellington Annual Town Meeting today is June 1st, 7:03 p.m. Town of Wellington Notice and Warning Annual Town Budget Meeting for General Government and Education. The electors of the Town of Wellington and all persons who are entitled to vote in town meeting on the matters mentioned in the following warning are hereby warned and notified to meet in hybrid town meeting held in the town office building, 40 Old Farms Road, and via Zoom meetings, meeting ID 849-0109-0004. Excuse me. Passcode 503830 at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 for the following purpose. Item 1, to discuss the proposed general government and education budgets for the fiscal year July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2022. A summary of the town budget is estimated general government budget operating $4,661,496. Capital school bond 0, general purpose bonds 183,000, reserve fund $91,700, capital expenditures $228,864, capital projects $1,000, total general government $5,166,060. Estimated education K through 8, $8,962,009. Region 19, $4,379,900. Total town budget $18,507,969. Total estimated revenues $4,009,265. To be raised by taxation $14,498,704. Less applied fund balance $700,230. Net amount to be raised by taxation $13,798,474. Item 2, to set a date not less than 7 nor more than 14 days thereafter for a vote on the annual general government and education budget by a separate yes or no vote on the voting machines. Item 3, to set the town office building as the polling place and to set the hours of the referendum during which votes may be cast, not less than between the hours of 12 o'clock noon and 8 o'clock p.m., and not more than between the hours of 6 o'clock a.m. and 8 o'clock p.m. Item 4, to see if the townspeople, on the recommendation of the Board of Selectmen, will adopt the capital improvement program for the fiscal years 2022 to 2026. Item 5, to see if the townspeople, on the recommendation of the Board of Finance, will authorize the appropriation of $50,000 from Capital Projects Fund LoCIP for the Wellington Fire Department number 1 underground oil tank replacement to be reimbursed by the state of Connecticut Local Capital Improvement Fund, dated at Wellington this 24th day of May 2021, Wellington Board of Selectmen, Erica G. Wyszynski, Liza Boritz, and John Blessington. I would entertain a motion for a moderator. Lori Sepperbaum, and you should be able to unmute yourself. Are you making a motion?
Yes, I move that Suzanne be appointed the moderator.
Second.
Chapman?
Second.
Seconded by Stephanie Summers. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of Suzanne Chapman as moderator signify by saying aye.
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 I will note for the record, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 voting members in the room. There are 5 individuals present, and they have all voted aye. Motion carries. Ms. Chapman?
There's 5 voting members and
No.
6 coming in.
I'm not voting. It's not a voting.
So if there's no objection, I'll dispense with the rereading of the entire call and just move to item 1, if everyone's in agreement. Seeing no
In agreement.
Item 1, to discuss the proposed general government and education budgets for the fiscal year July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. A summary of the town budget is general government budget, $4,661,496. Capital school bond, $183,000. General purpose bonds, $91,700. Capital expenditures, $228,864. Capital projects, 1,000. Total general government, $5,166,060. The estimated education budget for K to 8, $8,962,009. For Region 19, $4,379,900. The total town budget, $18,507,969. Total estimated revenues are $4,009,265. To be raised by taxation, $14,498,704. Less an applied fund balance of $700,230. The net amount to be raised by taxation is $13,798,474. Is there any discussion? I've got 2 there. Is there any discussion here? Do you want to go,
Sure.
Lori,
We'll start with Lori.
Semperbone?
Yeah, I think we should get this budget passed because I think it's gonna be really difficult for the tax collector to get the bills out, and the money that is supposed to be coming from the federal government, we don't know enough information yet, and I think we need to pass our budget. And I think it's a good budget.
Mike McCoo?
Good evening. Speaking for the process the Board of Finance went through, I want to assure everyone who is listening or watching this meeting that the Board of Finance did, as usual, its due diligence. And with the extra challenges of being in a COVID environment, we worked very carefully with the budget submitting organizations, and we received public input in nearly all of our meetings. And I believe that while I would love to reduce my own taxes and I would love to find less expensive ways to operate our town, I truly, truly believe that we have made prudent decisions, and we have made cuts where the board came to consensus that they felt those cuts were appropriate. And we have funded things that the board felt needed to be funded to keep our town moving forward. We do have the advantage this fiscal year, as it ends, to be able to see a little bit clearer picture of next fiscal year versus what we went through last year. And things are certainly not perfect. They're not rosy, but they're looking fairly positive. And this budget came together well. And I believe things will continue to move in a positive direction. I believe this is a prudent budget. I believe it is the right budget for Wellington. I believe the small increase is necessary to keep the proper services in place and to keep our town poised for recovery. And I am very much, not only as board chairman, in support of the process that we did, but I'm in support of this budget as it is presented to the taxpayers. Thank you.
Anyone, Jim Bulick?
Hi, Jim Bulick, Laurel Drive. I very much appreciate the effort everybody's taken to develop this budget. It's a long, arduous process. And I certainly, I understand what goes in there. But the facts are that our revenues our spending is higher than our revenues. It's not sustainable over a long period of time. This budget represents about a 4 1/3% increase in spending over the last year's budget. And therefore I'm opposed to it as it is. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Elizabeth?
Hi, I just want to say, coming off of Jim Bulick's comment, I am for the budget to be passed. I want to note that we have monies that we can utilize from previous taxation cycles that is available to us. And if we don't utilize it, it would be considered overtaxation. So I think that the town is more than capable to handle the 13,000, I don't have it in front of me, collection through taxation. So that was my comment. Thank you.
Stephanie?
I just wanted to clarify for people here who may not know that the town has already successfully passed the Region 19 portion of the budget. I don't know if they're aware of that. That's correct, right?
Yes.
So I think the way that's presented in this, which I know it has to be presented this way, that they might miss that point.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any comments?
I don't know how to raise my, oh, there we go. I don't know how to raise my hand. Donna Cook, Common Road in Wellington. A couple things. One is, you may not be aware, I had my husband go on the town website and he went on the calendar. This meeting wasn't listed on the calendar. So I went back to an email I had received. So that may be why there's so few people on. If they thought they might have had the wrong day. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. So then in the future, the calendar gets updated. I'm concerned about the budget because of the increase in taxes and because of what's going on in our state and in our community. These are very difficult times. And so I just ask that everybody be as prudent as possible. I know that the school board made an extra effort to keep things as low as possible and yet still provide quality services to our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. John Blessington?
John Blessington, 29 Mason Road. I'd just like to remark that during one of the Board of Finance meetings, a member of the Board of Finance said he was in favor of the budget, even though he paid $6,000 a year in taxes. And if this meant he had to pay another $500 a year, he could afford it. And I know where he's coming from, because the truth of the matter is I pay $6,000 a year in taxes. And if I get another $500 on top of that, I can afford it. But let's not forget that there are people in town who do not have good jobs or do not have pensions. And it may be a very large burden on them to try to pay that extra money. So let's keep this in mind when we're talking about raising taxes, because 4.38% is not a small raise. Thank you.
Thank you, John. If you could hold on for just a second, please, Elizabeth, to make sure no one else that hasn't spoken wants to speak first. There's nobody raising their hand in the room. So we'll go to Elizabeth.
I just want to point out that this is what we do. We take it to vote. So if the Wellington people come out and vote and to pass the budget, then the Wellington people can support the tax increase. So this is just a meeting to move it to referendum. So thank you.
Well, I would just interject that it's also an opportunity for the townspeople to speak to the issues and let their voices be heard as well.
Right, that's right.
It won't, the
Both
outcome
sides.
of the meeting won't change any of the numbers, but the townspeople have a right to speak to it, so.
Both sides, pro also.
Is there any further discussion on item 1? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 2. To set a date not less than 7 nor more than 14 days thereafter for a vote on the annual general government and education budgets by a separate yes or no vote on the voting machines. I would entertain a motion to set a date for the referendum.
Do I make a motion?
Erica,
So I move to set Tuesday, June 8th as the date to vote in the annual general government and education budgets by a yes or no vote on the voting machines.
I'll second.
for those of you that are on Zoom, well, is there any discussion? First of all, is there any discussion about holding the referendum on June 8th? For those of you that are on Zoom, you'll see a poll question on your screen. And please answer by clicking on either yes or no. For those of you that are in the room, all those in favor of holding the referendum on June 8th, Tuesday, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, abstentions? There are 5 ayes in the room.
Let's see everybody.
And we have
So these are just the
14 yeses on Zoom.
Mhm.
So it looks like it was unanimous with 19 yes responses. Moving along to item 3. To set the town office building as a polling place and to set the hours of the referendum during which votes may be cast, not less than between the hours of 12 o'clock noon and 8 o'clock PM, and not more than between the hours of 6 o'clock AM and 8 o'clock PM. Is there a motion?
I'll move to set the hours of polling to between the hours of 6 AM and 8 PM.
Is there a second?
Second, Lori Semperbon, Turnpike Road.
And is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the item to a vote. All those in favor of holding the referendum between 6 AM and 8 PM, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying nay. And abstentions or. So one person on Zoom didn't vote.
It's up to you. I can.
All right,
oh, no,
the
there we go.
majority have
Everyone,
voted.
everyone has now.
Everyone has voted. It is again unanimous. Moving on to item 4. To see if the townspeople on the recommendation of the Board of Selectmen will adopt the capital improvement program for fiscal years 2022 to 2026. If someone would like to make a motion, we can move on to discussion.
So moved.
John Blessington has moved. Is there a second? Phil Monty has seconded. Is there any discussion? Do you want to speak to the plan?
Can speak to the plan. There are copies of the plan in the room. I will. You should all be able to see copies of the plan. Apologize. On your screen. I apologize. This is very slow. All right, so the summary of projects for the 5-year plan. The committee's recommendations to fund projects totaling $12,843,155 over a 5-year plan, which does not include any major education-related capital expenses. There are 2 plans in the 5th year of this plan anticipating either a new school bond or a completion of a multitude of capital projects. So bonding either one or the other is in our 5-year plan. Oh goodness, I apologize. All right. Projects we did not fund in this year were lighting at River, in this plan, are lighting at River Road, River Road, a turf field, new firehouse at Willington Hill Fire Department, design and construction, and a bucket truck for public works. So we did not fund those $6 million worth of projects. The items you see on the screen now are impacting the current fiscal year, the coming fiscal year budget, totaling $645,035. And that does include $91,700 to be put into the general reserve fund. So these are impact on the current budget that will go to referendum next Tuesday. Non-general fund items are the following, and they include LoCIP projects, items funded through the reserve fund, as well as leases and is the bond payment in there. No, that's in the general fund. You'll see fire apparatus through the emergency reserve fund, concrete floor replacement in the town office building, more audiovisual equipment in the town office building, some drainage work on Schofield Road. This does include a district money for consultants for the district building committee. This includes funding for potential purchase of the Talmadge property through the Conservation Commission, transforming the current volleyball court to a pickleball court at River Road, and replacing several public works vehicles and our salt shed. Again, these are non-general fund items. The plan goes on to tell you how we formulate the plan. And this is a table of the budget projections for the different funds: our LoCIP fund, general reserve fund, emergency equipment fund, and our parks and recreation fund. Does that look right? I'm going to stop sharing so you can see.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on the capital improvement plan? Jim Bulick?
Yeah, could you post that on the financial office website like you continue to do every year?
Yes.
Thank you.
Donna Cook has her hand raised.
Are there any other comments or questions? Donna Cook?
Yeah, forgive my ignorance. What does LoSiP stand for?
Local Capital Improvement Program. It's funded through the state of Connecticut.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call the item to a vote. All those in favor of approving the capital improvement program for the fiscal years 2022 to 2026, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. And it appears as though the item has passed unanimously. Item 4, to see if the townspeople on the recommendation of the Board of Finance will authorize the appropriation of $50,000 from Capital Projects Fund, LoSiP. And again, LoSiP is for local capital improvement funded by the state, for the Wellington Fire Department #1 underground oil tank replacement to be reimbursed by the state of Connecticut local capital improvement program. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Erica moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike McCoo, second. And are there any questions or comments on this item? Second, seeing none, we'll call the item to a vote. All those in favor of authorizing the appropriation of $50,000 from Capital Projects Fund LoSiP to the Wellington Fire Department #1 underground oil tank replacement, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. And everyone has voted. Once again, it is unanimous. That completes our, excuse me. Sorry, Stephanie.
Steph Summers, Y Road. I just had a question, Suzanne. We never took a vote on item 1, right?
Correct. We
Okay.
don't vote on item 1.
Okay, I thought once we set a date, we did something. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, we have completed the items on our call. As there's no further discussion, this town meeting is hereby adjourned to referendum on Tuesday, June 8th, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Voting will take place at the town office building.
Thank you, Suzanne.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
everyone, for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
How soon
Thank
can we
you.
get